Albrecht may have told you to build that thing, but given how he used people and threw them away, he may not have cared for your safety. If that Gargoyle is a threat, you must take it from the Sanctum immediately. Now, activate it.
At last! If ignorance is bliss, then you, Tenno, must be ecstatic. Come on then, bring it closer. Wakey, wakey.
Where did that come from? Identify yourself!
Please, Loid, let them figure it out. That's the right to here, in the jar. What? The fish with the big brain? Yes, the fish with the big brain. Can we please finally get this interminable process over with?
Albrecht used you to give the Cavia a voice, just as he used me to keep them alive. Such a resourceful man.
So, here we are then, the best of what's left. Clearly, Papa's plan was countered. Color me surprised. Right then, we may proceed with the sequence.
You animals have observed us all this time, have you not? You've given yourself a role in the sequence?
Indeed we have. Oh, come, Loid. It's named after Papa's favorite pet. Spare the rod and spoiled. We know the fragmented ones are heralds of the indifference. We know the chosen operator must summon and destroy them. And regrettably, you, Loid, have made this impossible.
Choose your words carefully, fish.
Tenno, the Grimoire is incomplete. The final page hidden away by Loid. Be a darling and retrieve it. That's all. Run it on.
So be it. The gift of decency was clearly not bestowed upon the Cavia, Tenno. But I cannot deny the page's current status is lost.
Talk! I can talk! Hey! Oh, Mr. Loid! Mr. Loid! Where is Papa? Why did Papa leave us? Mr. Loid!
Papa is gone. We could all be gone too. In an instant. Like... We have to keep quiet.
Okay.
Allow me to boil this down for you. Should the indifference's corrupting touch reach us and take back our speech, we would be screwed. So, be a love and eradicate the murmur in this patch before the big bad gets word that Loid's awake and the fish is talking.
Tenno, there is some truth to what the fish says. That page was the last thing my Albrecht ever wrote. Meant for me. Since I had no interest in reading his endless self-justifications, I hid it away instead. But with all this chaos, it's undetectable.
So long as the indifference is missing a digit, it is confined to the strands of craft. Don't ask, your tiny mind would likely pop under the strain of understanding. This limitation is our one hope.
Do not patronize the Tenno fish. The strands of Kra are merely void renderings of the chains of cause and effect. Conceptually embodied timelines, if you will.
That was daughter excelled at explaining complicated concepts in childish terms. I see now where she learned it. Arousing as I'm sure this is me, the rest of us are moments away from an extinction grim, black, and final. So, if you would be so kind, finish up so I can point you toward that sodding page! It was a long walk towards competence, but here you are. Now, please, the page.
How about you give me the page instead, kiddo? Consider it part of our deal.
Keep it to yourself, Tenno. I'm damned if I'm giving Albrecht the last word.
Filled hand raps upon the untimed door, and sans Grimoire, we are undone! We've been rumbled!
Thank Void. Listen, the Murmur diverted your extraction jump. We need you back at the Sanctum, now! Hurry! It's taking the labs inch by inch. Well, I won't let it take his bloody Cavia!
The sodding indifference seeks a path through the walls, and then Tenno, through you! Keep it at bay! approaches. Soon, it will take on mass. Tenno! The Grimoire must speak with its own voice.
Loid, you gave me back my sight, but I would not spare you a glance. You gave me back my voice, but I never spoke to praise you as I should have. For you were my right hand, my strength, my support, my sanctuary. Even when the galleries hurled scorn upon me, your sole desire was to suffer it in my stead. Day of service, you aspired to be worthy of me. I only wish that I could have been worthy of you, my lord.
Stillness. Tenno! No. Operator.
The strand of claw has been cut, while the indifference remains undeterred. I foresee a grim and continuing struggle to safeguard Papa's laboratory from its fell and ruinous grasp.
Indeed. I shall not waver. Protect the vessels. Repair. Rebuild. So runs the Kalymos Sequence. And such is our task. In the version of the past we saw, my Albrecht said we were too late. The solution, naturally, is to arrive on time next time. You keep the Murmur at bay, I shall fulfill my role. Punctuality. The Entrati family never could arrive on time without my help. And so, here I am, back to my old role, the diligent servant. Albrecht would have smiled at that, I think. He said, "Do not let it see you weeping, Loid."
Yet still, the end has re-began.
One must make the best of things. You've met the animals? The catastrophe Albrecht saddled me with? Well, any ideas? Their roles were intended to be filled by qualified personnel. People! Instead, we have this. It's bad comedy. They're imprinted with whatever information they need to function, and an understanding of our current state of affairs, including Albrecht's absence. They were sent into the Void using a bell of the same design that Albrecht initially used. The Void got in, somehow. Again. One of the animals was lost, and the rest came back. Like that. We placed them in stasis, pending a proper examination. For them, the disaster, intelligence, and selfhood all occurred only hours ago. They're psychological shrapnel. And they're all we've got. See what you can do with them. I simply do not have the time.
Ah, yes. Operator, correct? Drifter, perhaps? You'll find our merry band share that unconventional relationship with their appellations. I am Fibonacci. Papa's design has uplifted me to function as the coordinating factor of this little group. You, may have heard that one of our number was consigned to paradise before our return from the void. Min, Tagfa's mate. Yes, most unfortunate. Too often it is the good and the young who forge our future, laying their lives upon progress's unfeeling anvil. Now, let us apply ourselves to the grand work at hand and deny our minds melancholy's frigid caress. To work! Gather the others. I have something to say. Oh, well, off you trot.
1 minute, I existed only to eat and flee and breed. The next, I was me. But Min, did Min have time to be Min? Before she and I, we were the last. Did you know that? Without her, there's no more us. No more Tagfer and Min. No soft calls. No gentle nuzzling muzzle. No little Tagfers. No little Mins. Ever. Fibonacci says we have to trust that it's all part of Papa's plan. How? Why? And now I have a purpose. So the fish says. To help you in the ways in which I have been instructed. But all I want is to be with her. Min. Papa never wanted anyone to know what he was up to. That's why he built the Netra cells. Little hideaway vaults. Not even Loid knows what he got up to in there. I want to know. I can get you into the anchor hold, where Albrecht stored all his key glyphs. They're on a rotation timer. Only one Netra cell can be opened at any given time. And before you can do that, you've got to find the Netra cell and neutralize any opposition. Impossible for a guy like me, but maybe not for someone with a working pair of opposable thumbs. What do you say? I understand. Do you need me? Listen, I know Loid cares for Papa. So if you find him and anything goes down, do me a solid. Keep Loid away. You understand? Okay.
You wanna bend? Mr. Tagfer is very still and very quiet. Like a dead thing in the hot green thing I think that came from. Jungle. He must be practicing. Mr. Tagfer? Wow, he's really good at that. Dead thing. Is Min a dead thing? Can my friends be dead things? Can I be a dead thing? Oh, Papa will bring her back. Papa can do that. Papa will let us be dead things. Papa, bark, loves us. Yes, bark, bark. Mr. Fibonacci, he'd know. Papa's plan, he said. So, You got it.
Fuck.
Have fun!
Riss. Light. The senselessness of it. The paradoxic, the vague, untimed form. I was alone, but not. For I stood there confronted by myself. A twin, but no brother. A reflection, but with dimension. Behind him, no horizon, but a vast broiling sea of caustic light pierced at random by black pin stars. And closer, around me, a gale of flowing vapor, profane in color, billowing relentlessly into the nascent lack, seeking all directions. I was standing on a precipice of familiar stone, jagged and unanchored as though cleaved directly from the very floor of my laboratory. I wondered at the vapor's path, smoking outward more, leaving behind now the walls, the filigree gold, the rare cuts of marble from my home. I knew at once the vapor's source. I turned away, back toward the wall, the trapezoid I had yawed into it. Vapor erupted inward at the gap, but not just from there. For as I rolled my eyes back, I saw the same. A great steam of scintillation smoking out from my skull. Dumb in awe, I faced toward my chimerical twin. He spoke. Kra, time. An old name, unspoken in the centuries since my mother reared me. A soft hiss, soothing as a viper's gaze. Little Bengal. The other me reached out, offering his hand, gliding toward me without moving, as though the distance between us was now collapsing. A confusion, most euphoric, filled my mind. With the shred of wit that remained, I decided that I should run for my life. At once, crazed and frantic, I fled. But I made no forward progress. Instead, the world compressed evermore around me, as though I were an anchor pulling the shore to reach. When I arrived at the door, or rather, the door arrived at me, I howled, hurling myself inside, out. And then and there I was, lost and unlost, howling on the floor in harmony with my wretched Kalymos, lacerated in flesh and heart, scattered as the bell glass, spilling blood and stomach on the cold stone floor. But I sensed the other there, at the wall's breach behind me, reaching still. I screamed, but my voice was gone. Forever. I looked, but my eyes would never see again. I swept my fist across the floor, snatching broken shards, and in gripping tightly, I filled my hands with ink. Close it, I wrote. Netra. Decay. Time, to us, is all but conquered. Our sacred kuva moves us on to new skin. We numb to our daily, yearly trifles, and remedy those memories that bring lasting misery. With all our misdeeds, our excess, our indignity, we are haunted by nothing. But not for me, for with each passing day, there grew within a tumorous idea. It was minute in those early days, the pale reaching digits severed on the floor, studied with reverence, with greed. And it swelled larger in the latter days. The regal domes, the rail dedications, the unholy Zariman parade. I had put the stars within reach, but at what cost? I never spoke of him, that man trapped in the wall. And while there have been countless souls who have followed me through with their light skippers and field wave skins and very-eyed instruments, not a single one ever saw him. Me. And so it is that I will not take the Kuva now, or ever again. This is the last skin I'm in. Because of this idea, that I cannot be sure that in all that smoked commotion, in all that panic and fear, in that bending light and blinding dark, was it I who escaped? Or the other? Lok, void. From brooding gulfs are we beheld by that which bears no name. Its heralds are the stars it fells, the sky and earth aflame. Corporeal laws are unwrit as suns and love retreat. To cosmic madness, laws submit, though stalwart minds entreat. In luminous space, blackened stars they gaze, accuse, deny. Roiling, moaning, this realm of ours in madness lost shall die. Carrion hordes trill their profane accord with eldritch plans. To cosmic forms from tangent planes, we end as we began. Zata, truth. It began long before us, we who now live our perfect and dull, endless lives. It began long before these moon palaces and body markets hurling around our golden sun. It began long before our light coil thinkers, our radiation wars, our oil, smoke. It began with us, the continuity and its twin, wanderlust. The need for unseen shores deep in our marrow. No judge, jester, queen, or king can escape this old blood. We are nomads, eternal. And when no ocean, mountain, or sky could contain us, our gaze hungered starward. Afar, they mocked us with their brittle light, winking and jeering like dangling iotons, forever out of reach, illuminating the truth. Immortal as we are, we die with the sun. That's where I come in. Jahu, form. My departure was a day less than any other. When I stepped inside the bell, I saw no crowd through its seriglass, no skeptical onlookers, no regal send-off. They all had given up on me and my paradoxical formulations. The wasted years have all shown the void to be just that. Nothing. No energy, no entanglement, no form. To spacefaring ambitions, a dead end. On the day, my laboratory was mostly vacant of witnesses, most of all of expectation. Only my sluggish attendants, my sagacious Kavat, Kalymos, and of course my daughter. I had raised her alone, but with inconsistent vigor. In those eyes, her mother's, I did see a terrible reflection of a man that did not exist. A brave and principled man about to make history. In truth, he was a void himself, an outcast, a joke, a nothing. Driven by my humiliation, failure had made me bitter and reckless. I would dive into the depths myself to prove them all wrong. I gave the signal. My daughter grasped the lever. Kalymos then belted out a desperate, rasping growl. But it was too late. Vom, order. The calipers yawed open the wall between worlds, stretching there a black trapezoidal gap. A door, a mouth. It yawned in the light of the room, splintering it to mesmerizing, unearthly hues. And I, inside the bell, dropping obliquely toward it from my gallows. Mass and time rippled as a sudden vortex jawed before me. My head was vapor, my feet lodestone. The bell around me flexed like a rat paralyzed in a winding, gulping snake. I faltered in the awe of it, stumbling against the ceraglass, and with that shifted the bell's path through the wall. It grazed the caliper membrane, the edge of the door. No worldly edge was as thin, as sharp as could split even light. As the bell faintly grazed it, the ceraglass was all at once rendered like strips of flesh by Dax's blade. My enclosure was beheaded in an instant, but still, I fell, sideways, into the void. Thas, chaos. Death was on me, I was certain. I was face down, eyes clenched, my heart pulsing the last of its seconds, and my lungs burning the last of its air. A sudden nostalgia gripped me. I grasped desperately for memory of a storm just past, the fumbling pitch of a child's song. Yet all these thoughts seemed to steal away from my mind like smoke through a vent. I would die empty. I then became aware of another sensation, physical, a web of pain, needles itching into my arm. At once I realized I was alive. Laying in the bell's shattered ceraglass, I groped the ground, warm stone, the floor of my laboratory. So, I had never left. And so, I had failed. Again. I heard a crunch alongside me. Someone stepping through the shattered glass. With great shame, I gasped and rose my head to face my daughter above me. But as I opened my eyes, it wasn't her. It was me.